welcome back to another episode of our live seasons where we talk about the raw and honest truth to navigating through the different seasons of life. I'm your host, Wen. If you've been loving the podcast episodes, do leave a review of this podcast on whichever platform that you're on and let me know which topics are your favorite. Now, today's topic, I want to talk about this sense of loss, especially when it's the season of graduation where I'm at. For a lot of like college or even university people. So I have a friend who's officially graduating this week, and the multiple conversations that I had with her actually inspired me to record this episode, because I feel like not only her but a lot of people, even for me as well, I had this moment where I just didn't know what to do. I know how scary that can feel. I've been there, graduating from high school and having to decide if I should follow what everyone was doing or to venture out into a less walked path, which is to go straight into a 9 to 5 instead of getting a uni degree, right? If you've listened to last week's episode and many others, you know that I did the latter, which is I decided to get into a 9 to 5 instead of getting a degree. And that's just my decision, okay? So even that decision came with its own sets of fears and sense of loss. Like, it's very common and it's very normal to feel this sense of loss or even this identity crisis where you do not know like who you are or what you want to do or whether or not it's actually okay not having a plan. I've been there. I've literally been there and felt that. I know how crazy that can feel, and sometimes a lot of things happens like imposter syndrome or just not being confident in your abilities and just looking at your peers and be like, oh my god, like so-and-so got a placement in this company, so-and-so like are doing so well in content creation maybe, and you're just like, I don't know what I want to do, and that's okay. So somehow this feeling of being lost still creeps up every now and then. I'm not saying that I'm perfect now where I do not feel a sense of loss because I have our life seasons and I have my 9 to 5, but I would say that I am still struggling with it as well. But the only difference now is that I've learned to embrace this sense of loss and navigating through it with a better understanding that this feeling will never go away. Okay, I've come to terms with it to know that this feeling or this sense of loss will never go away. So I might as well just learn to live with it, right? In a good way, okay? So similar to a lot of emotions that we have, anxiety, anger, boredom, joy, sadness, this sense of loss will never go away, okay? I've said this a lot of times and I'll say it again. I need you to understand that there will never be a day where you do not feel all these emotions or you do not feel emotions at all, okay? You will not stop feeling lost, and you'll have a life where you figure out how you kind of want to walk through this anxiety, walk through all these emotions, and it's not a life where you have everything figured out, okay? Because if you are waiting for the life where you have everything figured out, where the day you just feel so happy all the time, let me tell you to stop waiting, okay? That day will not come because it's really not happening. A day where you just feel like you know everything, you have everything in life, it's not, it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't work like that. Because if you think about it and you look at other people and you're like, oh my god, so and so are so successful, they seem successful, right? Let me tell you that with that level of success, it comes with a lot of work. Obviously is one thing. Another thing, it also, there are moments where they just feel lost, because like I mentioned a lot of times before, new level, new devil, okay? So the faster you understand this concept of the duality of life, which I talked about in episode 2, the faster you'll get to the other side of it, which is being found while embracing this sense of loss. I know it sounds impossible and it almost sounds crazy. Very fair, but hear me out, okay? First things first, I want you to normalize the feeling of being lost. We've all been there, staring at a map with no clear direction in sight. Maybe you just graduated and the open inverted real world feels really overwhelming. You feel like you need to make choices like at this moment right now. Perhaps you're stuck in a dead end, a job, whether it's a 9 to 5 job that you hate or whatever, or a relationship that's gone stale, right? The point is, take feeling lost as a sign that you're ready for a change. I want you to take on this mindset because it's really important, okay? Let me repeat that. Take feeling lost as a sign that you're ready for a change, a nudge to step outside of your comfort zone and explore new possibilities. So here's the thing about being lost, right? Similar to the experiences that we have in life, it's often the detours that leads us to the most breathtaking destinations. Think of it like this. The most scenic road trips rarely follow a straight line, if you realize. They meander through like winding paths, traveling off the beaten path, leading you to hidden gems and unexpected adventures. That's the beauty of taking scenic road trips, alright? Scenic routes in general. They are a little bit longer. Yes, they are not a straight line. Sometimes it's even harder to drive through scenic routes, But you're rewarded with a lot of beautiful memories and a lot of scenes that are like just those are like hidden gems, right? So the first thing I want you to change is to learn how to embrace the feeling of being lost, not seeing this emotion as a negative one. Again, if you know, you know, it's always about what you tell yourself that can change the perspective on life and eventually change your reality, okay? Believe it or not, feeling lost can actually be a good thing. I know, okay? I want you to start seeing this moment of loss as an opportunity for exploration to dabble into different interests of yours, right? Take calculated risk. It's a chance to actually break free from the autopilot mode that we're constantly on, or sometimes you're stuck in, and try new things. Maybe you've been itching to learn a new language, probably take on a pottery class, or travel somewhere completely new, right? Embarking on your first ever solo trip. Whatever that may be, it's time to look at the things that you've been buried under like a pile of excuses, like, you know, I don't have enough time, or I'm not good enough, what if I fail, etc. You know what I say about these excuses, right? They do not serve you any justice, so get rid of them. Feeling lost can be the push you need to finally take a chance on everything you've always wanted to explore, and maybe, just maybe, open up a new path for you, one where you could never ever dream of, right? All the possibilities of you just trying every single thing out, okay? I remember coming across this concept that literally blew my mind, and I want to share it with you guys, okay? I felt like this has really changed my perspective, or shifted my perspective in an instant. And I forgot where I read this from, but basically it's the concept that maybe the career path that was meant for you have not been made known yet, okay? It's an uncharted territory waiting to be explored. So let me give you an example. Before TikTok was even the TikTok that we know now, who knew that there could be a birth of new influencers emerging from this completely new social space, right? No one knew. Even the creators themselves that you guys probably are very familiar with, that are building a community on TikTok and even getting brand deals left, right, center, and now they get to make this their career. An example of a creator would be the Ha sisters. I'm not sure if you guys know them. They are the Ha sisters for a reason. Like Evelyn, Emily, and Erica Ha, they blew up on TikTok through their sisters' content, and I'm sure if you followed their story, you would know that they were all doing different things before TikTok. And now they actually get to become a full-time content creator and even have their own merch because of the community that they built, because of this whole entire possibility. It wasn't something that they worked towards to, but it just kind of happened overnight. And I'm not saying that success comes overnight, whatever success seems like looks like for you. All I'm saying is that this opportunity might not even be made known to you yet unless you decide to go and explore it. So I want you guys to take this chance as a chance to explore. A feeling of loss just means that you're ready to explore newer things. You're ready to just put yourself out there and see what hits and what sticks, okay? It doesn't really matter. You don't need to have a plan. Just put yourself out there, because as long as you're putting yourself out there, you will go through a lot of lessons, you will learn a lot of things, and that right there is growth. And you guys know how I think about growth. Growth is super important. Having this growth mindset and not closed off mindset really will allow you to open yourself up to a brand new world, to a whole new world where everything is made possible for you if you want it to, okay? And this is just one example. I'm not saying you have to be an influencer, of course. All I'm saying is that the world is really evolving, okay? There are literally new roles that will be created, and you'll never know. Perhaps your role has yet to be created and is waiting on you to explore that. So maybe something in the AI world, as tech is kind of developing, you get the gist of it, okay? What I'm trying to say is that the possibilities are literally endless. The feeling of lost often comes from a build-up of different fears, like imposter syndrome, feeling like you're not good enough, fear of making the wrong choices or decisions, probably fear of not having things figured out by a certain age, very common, fear of realizing you might desire a change in direction, be it in career path or just in life in general, after being so comfortable doing what you love to do or what you thought you loved to do, and realizing you might just have outgrown that situation or that job or that whatever that you're holding on to, and that can be scary. All these emotions build into this sense of loss, right? And somehow you just end up with the idea of, or the narrative of, I don't know what to do. But when you say that, to me, all I hear is that I know what I want, but I'm just scared of the outcome of pursuing it. Okay, now, there is a very different thing where you now know what you're dealing with, and this fear of the outcome is the same fear of the unknown. So if you have this fear of the unknown, please listen to episode 29, okay? That is for you. Let me offer you a change in perspective. Maybe feeling lost isn't a sign of failure, but a sign of exploration. Again, it's a nudge from the universe saying, hey, go check out that shiny thing over there. See where it takes you, right? It's about trying new things, even if it scares the shit out of you. It's about embracing failure as a stepping stone, a lesson learned. So the next time you feel the sense of loss creeping in, don't panic, okay? See it as an invitation to embark on a new adventure. Now, doesn't that sound more fun and more exciting than comparing to you spiraling into negativity whenever you feel this sense of loss? I'm sure it is. I mean, at least for me, it is. When I kind of shift into this perspective of me wondering if I'm actually making the right decisions or wondering if I will ever be where I want to be, I always see it as an invitation to explore something new, to go on new adventures, because it just shows that I'm comfortable. I'm way too comfortable and nothing in my life is kind of exciting. And yeah, it's like if it feels stagnant, that's when it's a sign for you to really just try out new things, okay? Keep your excitement going, because that is the thing that fuels your life. At least for me, that's what I think, okay? So do this now. I want you to take a deep breath, tap into your intuition, okay? She has the answers, and follow your curiosity, and that trust will really, really, really help you out. So trust that every twist and turn leads you to exactly where you need to be, okay? Remember, you are not lost. You're just exploring your options. So that goes back down to what you tell yourself on a day-to-day basis. If you're constantly sitting down telling yourself that, oh, I'm lost, you will be lost, because all you could see is that you being lost, and you are just constantly wrapped around this negativity, and you can't see a way out, right? But when you change the narrative and be like, okay, this is a sign for me to explore. I'm not lost. I just need to be curious, right? I'm just exploring my options. That's when you open up to so much more possibilities, and you're really able to find yourself, right? Bit by bit, adventure by adventure, lessons by lesson. You understand yourself a little bit more as you put yourself out there and be like, you know what? I'm just gonna tap into this curiosity, just gonna tap into this intuition and see where it takes me. And so far, the people that I see that has this mindset really, really, really are very fulfilled in their life, okay? That is the main goal that we want to have, is to feel fulfilled, and not to, and that itself to me is success. It means success. Like I'm successful, okay? So a question that I ask myself whenever I feel lost in life, and that might be you now, is what is the exact feeling that we are trying to get back into our lives? What do I want to feel instead if I don't want to feel lost, right? The answer is the feeling of being found, okay? The feeling of groundedness and true freedom. Free from your negative thoughts, the narratives that no longer serves you. Free from the need to have everything figured out, right? Free from the fear of what people might think of you, of the decisions that you choose to make for yourself. Now, here's my answer on how to rephrase all these narratives and finally be found. You ready? To be found, you first gotta be lost. Okay, to dabble into different paths, to try out different things, to fail and try again, to take risks, to get out of your comfort zone, to go wherever your intuition leads you to. Then in all these adventures, you'll get closer to your purpose, to who you want to be, who you are, what lights you up and what drains you. That's when you are found. Okay, knowing all of this is when you are found. The feeling of being found is not when you have everything figured out, or where you know exactly where you want to go or what's gonna happen next. And it's not one where every one of your plan works out the way you want it to, right? It is the feeling of certainty that no matter what happens, you know what you can control, which are your feelings and your actions and your thoughts, right? And you know what you can't control, which are everything that is outside of you, the external world, right? Opinions of the people around you and the outcome of the situation. So it is the feeling where you anticipate change, you embrace moments of frustration and uncertainty, not because you gave up on life, where you have everything you desired, but because you understand the ebbs and flows of life, that everything in life happens for a reason, and you will never make the wrong decision. Okay, there are 2 mantras that I love, and episode 48 I cover actually more of this, but these mantras really help me to kind of work towards the feeling of being found, right? And that is to know that everything in life happens for a reason, and also whatever decision that you make, you will never make the wrong decisions, okay? So all of this leads back to you finding yourself. All in all, what I'm trying to say is that there's no magic map to finding yourself, but there are some awesome ways to navigate the maze of life. One tip, ditch the pressure to have it all figured out by a certain age. And this is something that, if you feel like you're really struggling with, which is to have things, or be able to let go of the fact that you can't have everything figured out. No one has everything in life figured out. I encourage you to watch episode 35 because I talk a lot more about it. No matter how others' life seems to be much better than yours, especially people of your age, right? We tend to compare. Know that what you see or hear is not what they want to show you. It's just when people show certain things online or when people tell you certain things, it's just a way of them protecting themselves from being vulnerable, and that is just human nature, okay? Don't compare your day 1 to someone else's day 100. Like, heck, don't even compare at all, okay? Life isn't linear. It's messy and unpredictable. So embrace adventure. Try new things, even if they seem scary or even if you need to take calculated risk. If you ask me, I'd rather you do it than to have any regrets, okay? Because that is at least the motto that I live in life. I do not want to have any regrets when I'm older, okay? So most importantly, listen to your intuition. What sparks joy in your soul, right? What activities leave you feeling drained? Pay attention to this little inner compass that you have been gifted with, and it will help you to kind of guide you to where you want to be, or to kind of help you to guide and figure out, like, life as you go, okay? Speaking of path, the life path, if you still have this mindset of finding that right path to success, however success looks like to you, this is when I'll tell you that there is no one right path to success. You can stop searching now, okay? Every path we take is the right one for us because of this concept that I hold very closely to me, which is whatever decisions that we make it because it was the best decision that was presented to us in that moment. Like it or not, this mindset has helped me to stray away from the what if, or like a lot of fears of making the wrong decisions, right? Or being indecisive, which is more detrimental than if you were to make an open inverted wrong decision. I like to think that every decision kind of leads us to a different outcome, and from that outcome, we learn and we grow. Then we proceed on to the next path and so on and so forth, right? That's how the journey of life is. A journey that is well thought out and crafted for us by the universe. Going against it by being rigid and having like a closed mindset will make everything feels harder to overcome and tougher to get through. And this is based on personal experience, which I've shared a lot in my episodes. So the beauty of life's journey is that there's no single one like right path, right? Every experience, every twist and turn, every dead end, every detour you take in life is a learning experience if you choose to see it to be a learning experience, okay? Holding valuable lessons that shapes you to be who you are today. So maybe that job did not work out for you in a way, but it taught you a lot of communication skills, right? Or maybe that failed relationship opened your eyes up to what you truly desire or truly value in a partner. So there's no such thing as a wrong path. Each experience shapes who you become and help you to grow, right? So embrace the detours, the stumbles, and the feeling of being lost sometimes, because it's through these experiences that you eventually find your way, and not to a fixed destination, right? But to a place of self-discovery, purpose, and fulfillment. So, speaking of fixed destination, before I leave, I kind of want to end you, I kind of want to end this episode with a little secret, okay? Being found isn't a destination, it's a journey. Let that sit in. Okay, let me repeat that again. Being found isn't a destination, it's a journey. Life is full of changes and challenges, and that means you might feel lost again at some point, right? But that's okay, because with each new adventure, you gain more self-awareness, more confidence, more clarity, and a deeper understanding of who you truly are. You get to learn more about yourself, right? So lean into this feeling of being lost, embrace the exploration, and trust that the journey itself will lead you exactly to where you need to be. And most importantly, don't be afraid to make mistakes. I can't stress this enough, okay? They are not failures, they are learning experiences. Cliche, I know, but it's very true. See every mistakes or hiccups as all part of the journey of life, and you will start opening yourself up to the lessons that will spur your growth. One that shows you like a whole new level of reality, right? One where you never actually think that it will be a reality, and one where you just realize that, oh my god, like I literally can reach this and make this my reality, make my desires my reality in such a short period of time. All those are possible, okay? And those timelines are just your timelines. It's different for everybody, so do not compare, right? Part of the journey is embracing the unknown and being okay with not having answers at all. I want you to remember this the next time you feel lost, okay? It's not a dead end. It's a new beginning. It's a sign that you're growing. It means you're curious, you're open to new possibilities. So embrace the journey, enjoy the unexpected detours, and trust that you'll find your way as long as you choose to see the good in every bad, okay? Because ultimately, feeling found isn't about reaching a specific destination. It's about the growth, the self-discovery, and the incredible experiences that you get to grow through along the way that made you who you are today, right? Both the good and the bad. So that's all for today's episode. As usual, if you have any burning questions or topics that you want me to cover, please drop me a DM on Instagram at Our Life Seasons or comment on whichever platform that you're listening to this so I can get back to you. I'll see you in the next one.